season finale of Fun Football Podcast. This has been a hectic season. I hope I don't have any personal stuff next year, but that's life. Um, I want to say thank you to everybody for an awesome season. Jones is having internet problems or something with our connection, which sucks. But I got Peter, Nick from Roll Coverage may be coming on. Peter, creator of Amazing Titles, you've got to be as happy as I am as a Bears fan. You guys coached the Bears and you landed Luther Burden.
Yep. No, we absolutely nailed it tonight.
Awesome,
And to
dude.
be able to add a early in tomorrow's rounds 2-1 is huge.
Oh heck yeah. Absolutely. For the people, wow, dang. Thank you. 50 people already. For everybody here, here's what we got cooked up. I was gonna talk NBA. If Jones gets on, we will. I'm gonna hit it at the end anyways because I'm excited about Lakers. So I'm gonna save a slot for NBA stuff. And this episode, I've been lazy, but it will be on Spotify. I will not be back with lives until July. Here's what I've got coming up for you guys. I will have a lot of YouTube shorts. I'm gonna take a couple days off Twitter, but I'll be back. You'll continue to see fun short videos. I'm gonna have a new series on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, so you'll still see me. I'm gonna take a little break from lives. Life happens. My wife is having a surgery. Need to take a little mental break too. It's we're hitting the NFL draft, but we're going to talk about the round 1 stuff, but there's been some crazy round 2, and I think we're into round 3 now. I just got home. Yep. Because I'm sorry, I love your Bears. We're going to hit them. The Packers took Matthew Golden. And then, you know what? I actually Anthony Belton. He's my only thing that annoys me is this is after taking Jordan Morgan. However, I thought Morgan would be better as a guard, and even if he doesn't work, this gives us more depth. An offensive line, and Love got 2 beat up last year. You're not going to succeed if your quarterback's under duress. You know that. The Bears invested a ton in the O-line. The Eagles are one of the best teams in the NFL because they're their offensive line. Same with the Lions. The Chiefs had problems this year in large part because of their offensive line. You have to be able to protect the quarterback. But before I keep going, Peter, you got anything coming up show-wise you want to promote before we keep going?
Honestly, we're kind of on quasi hiatus right now with Mary actually in town for the draft and whatever. We're kind of put that on back burner, so to speak, for a while, just so she can focus on being there and such. But there is something else in the works that I'm not going to talk about yet. That
no, I wasn't actually asking for that. I was
could be a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, what? So Jones is probably gonna be in the comments. I don't understand.
Well, see, and obviously, I know the real reason is he's having issues with the internet and stuff like that. I think it's just because he didn't want to hear that many more facts on why MJ's better even now than LeBron ever will be. But that's another discussion.
He's gonna. Oh man, he's gonna.
Oh, I know.
It's so funny because you know what's funny is there have been some great players. We'll just do the NBA thing since you're on it.
Okay.
Jordan to me is the best because of what he did at his greatest. But it was his scoring and how he took over the game that made him the best for me. But I do think LeBron is a better rebounder. He's stronger. He's probably as good of a passer as Jordan was. He's a better passer. But Jordan, the way he took over and his game jumped the level and how he just knew how to take control are things LeBron didn't figure out until a lot later. And I think LeBron's number 2, as good as Kareem was, as good as Magic was. I think LeBron's got a good argument for 2. I really do. You could give me Larry Bird, but he didn't last long enough. Steph isn't quite on that level. I think Wilt, he was dominant in the area he played, but he couldn't get by Russell. And there wasn't enough competition at that time in the NBA. Yeah. So I think it's really down to Magic. I don't think Kobe's quite there. I think it's really down to Magic and Kareem and Russell. And that's it. Gosh dang, his internet. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's fair.
What's it doing?
I guess the one thing, and I know obviously,
Why
and
does it
probably
do
even
that?
more so in basketball than football, it's hard to compare eras, but just looking at like the way they could run, each of them like impacted the game in their era. MJ was doing stuff that LeBron can't now when teams were playing defense.
That's true. And LeBron had to, the other thing that sucks for LeBron is that he didn't get the amazing pieces in the perfect roles around him. Like Pippen is the perfect number two.
Yeah.
Like LeBron had Wade, but he had to go to Wade's team and have
Mhm.
Bosh and assemble his own little team to do that. And Jordan did get lucky that he had Pippen and then Hugh Grant and good, solid shooting, and then Rodman. He had a GM that assembled a better team, and Phil Jackson,
Right.
great coach. LeBron didn't have those things. So unfortunately, Jordan had the perfect system around him and thrived in that system
Yeah,
to the
but LeBron
greatest.
also tried to be all those things and made some disastrous selections within who he wanted around him too.
This is true. This is very true. This,
And honestly, I mean, I hear like the whole he had Wade argument. I would argue Wade had him because until my opinion, and it could be the Bulls bias coming through here or whatever. My opinion, unless you count the bubble championship with the Lakers, LeBron's never been the best player on any team he's been on that's won a title.
whoa. Okay, that I gotta disagree with. LeBron was as good as Wade was. LeBron was better than Wade on that first ring. He was better than Kyrie in Cleveland. You can make an argument Davis might have been better, but I don't think they don't win that title without LeBron. I think I would edge LeBron slightly over Davis in the Lakers one. And the second Heat one, he was by far better than Wade at that point. Wade was starting to seriously decline. They barely squeaked by San Antonio. You can't give me Bosh, even though Bosh was great in his role. No way.
Yeah.
There's an
No, okay.
argument Wade
The
was better in
second one
that
with the
first
Heat.
ring.
Yeah, the second one with the Heat, I'll give you. Obviously Wade had gotten hurt at Ports that year too.
But
But
he's
the
definitely
first
better than
one,
Kyrie.
I would take Wade ahead of him in that first run, though.
He averaged more points. He was more important. I don't know. It's tough.
I mean, Wade had one before he got there with a well past his prime Shaq. LeBron didn't win until he was
Jones
with
wants to
Wade.
talk to you so bad. Jones really wants to drop some comments. I do want to hit some NBA playoff stuff. All right, let's hit some NFL. We'll come back to NBA. I promise you and everybody else. All right, so I know you got some cool news, but I know you're not going to share it.
Yeah.
I know what that is. Congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you.
I told him we talked about it. I was like, I think that'd be a good idea. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about that later. Okay. So
Going to be shifting the day on it too. So
I figured. I think we're sticking with our Monday, but yeah. So the Packers go with Anthony Belton. Where are we at, by the way? I've been my dad told me about every
I
pick.
actually have
It's
it
up 15 minutes
but
ago.
muted in the background, so I'll let you know when they come back from.
I'm not out in the front room. I'm considering it. Should I go in the front room again? Shador
Can't hurt.
Sanders is not drafted going into the third round. That's
Which is mind
excellent.
blowing.
I love it. It's funny to me. Like, for real. Like, this guy's got a lot of questions.
It is, but I to some level almost feel bad for him a little bit now because just from an interview when he's got the numbers to back it up, wins are a team stat. The numbers he put up aren't. I mean, he was doing it with Travis Hunter and no one. No one else on that team is even in the draft.
That's a good point. Okay, we're gonna hit Shador in a second. I want to talk more about Shador in a second. No, you know what? We'll do it right now. I have questions about his arm strength. I have questions about. Here's the thing, though. Like, if people had less questions about his ability, I don't know if the interviews would have been as concerning because guys will seem egotistical but they'll say it's swagger or they'll seem cocky, and then they'll be like that's swagger if it's last year, if it's a Jaden Daniels, that seems that way, even though he didn't. But let's pretend Jaden Daniels or Drake May looked that way. They were top 4 picks. They would have said swagger. So I do hate that we bring up character concerns. LeBron the GOAT. What's up, Jason? What's up, Jones? Thank you, guys. Drop comments. It's the last show for a minute. Yeah, dude, I don't understand. I don't get it.
Goat.
By the way, Brady, thank you for watching. I see you watching. I appreciate you, dude. I want to bring you on next year. He's one of my favorite guests. The Packers
looks like a goat, maybe. I don't know. Plays like it.
I was hoping the Packers would take Mike Green, so they would have golden and green. I thought that would have been funny. But we win Anthony Belton, but I'll hit that in a second. Shedeur, I'm exhausted, by the way. 3.5 hours does that to me, but I had to do this one last show.
Oh, good.
Shedeur, I don't know if the arm strength is there. There's character concerns, and I don't know if he's a guy that can lift a team up. Now, there's not a lot of those dudes. I still have questions about Jordan Love, but at least he showed you when things are going right what he can do in a playoff game. We've seen some flashes from Caleb. We've seen flashes from Bo Nix. He got him to the playoffs as a rookie. Hard to do. Drake May, even though the Pats sucked last year, he looked like he could, you get the right stuff around him, he might be a ceiling raiser. Look at what Jaden Daniels just did as a rookie. These guys don't grow on trees. I've got questions about Love. I've got questions about Caleb. I've got questions about JJ McCarthy. I've got questions about Jared Goff. I've got questions about the whole NFC North's quarterbacks. I'm being honest. Caleb might have the most promise, but we don't know yet, even though they've surrounded him with talent. They still need a running back, and they need to put it together. We don't know what Ben Johnson's going to be. We don't know what Jordan Love's going to be. The Packers have decided to invest in offense, which I like, instead of defense. But for Shedeur, what team in the third round, if he goes, what team do you think is the best fit?
Pittsburgh. At this point, it's got to be.
I think it's never Cleveland. It's got to be one of those teams.
Yeah, like Cleveland, I at least get the argument given who else they've added in the draft. But Pittsburgh, you're walking into a situation where, as a third-round pick, you're not going to have the same level of pressure on you, and you're walking into a situation with Pickens and DK Metcalf. Two of the, say what you will about Pickens being a head case, whatever. It's two of the most physically imposing receivers in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very little that could go wrong there, especially as a third round. It's a lot less risk than if you're wrong in the first round on someone.
Well, I've heard rumors about them trying to move Pickens. They still need a running back, unless they landed one. I'm trying to pull up the draft order right now. I heard a lot of the picks.
Well, one thing I was thinking too, in terms of like the swag versus like character concern stuff. How would you compare Shedeur to Johnny Manziel?
I mean, I didn't see that I didn't see near that level of concerns behaviorally, or like, person wise. The biggest thing,
and Manziel went in the first round.
I know. The biggest thing with Shedeur, even though he had accuracy, it's like that accuracy even came and went. You worry about the arm strength. You worry about the mobility. He's not super athletic. And as good as Colorado was, they played solid. He didn't really raise up in the big games, which is like that litmus test for the NFL. Like, that's what I liked about Matthew Golden. Even though he didn't have 1,000 yards, you know what he did? He got better as the season went, and he had his best games in the bowl games. And that's just the truth. He did. That's one of the things I know you like about Loveland for the Bears. The dude, he was productive last season. And you want to look at the litmus test isn't what they do against North Carolina State or some secondary school.
Yeah.
You want to see what they're doing against the big schools.
Right, the LSUs, the Bamas, etc.
And he's saying he showed up. I have some questions, but I'm shocked that he fell past the second round. I'm actually shocked he didn't go in the first round, considering the number of teams that needed a quarterback. This is a pretty big indictment on Shedeur. But hey, man, if he lands in the right team, this could work out. I cannot believe Cleveland's going to roll with Kenny Pickett. Like, what are you doing? That's the plan? Freaking, even if you wanted him, Deshaun Watson isn't playing this season. So, Jones, where did you think he should have gone? Since you're supposed to, I know. It's not, hey, man, I'm not mad. Internet, this sucks. It's 2 times in a row. Something with our connection. We will figure it out. He was supposed to be here, but it's not. I'm not mad. It's some stupid StreamYard thing. So, I want
And
to
I
have
mean, I think
I can. Jones, what did you think? Where did you have Shador going in the draft? And then to the Steelers at 21. That's where I had him.
um,
Peter, same thing.
yeah, it made a lot of sense, especially once they let both Russ and Justin walk or whatever. I'm honestly stunned they didn't try and keep one of them because, I mean, I know Justin had been like the succession plan and that didn't pan out, but it's not like Russ signed an ultra expensive long term deal here then, and he didn't play awful last year.
No, he was okay. Like I actually kind of like the Jackson Dart move for the Giants, but I'm not super sold on them either. I don't think here's the problem. I think this draft had maybe there might be a second guy that pans, but I think if the Titans surround Cam Ward with talent, which they need to, they've got Pollard. I agree with Jones. I think Rodgers is going there, but that's not a great succession. You know succession plan. And the Browns,
Yeah.
I just don't get what they're doing. Like, I love the trade down in the first round. We talked about it last night, but you got to have a better plan at quarterback than Kenny Pickett. I'm sorry. That dude is straight garbage. Like, okay, I got a fun test, Peter.
Okay.
Would you rather have Kenny Pickett as your starting quarterback or Daniel Jones?
I mean, it's tough because we haven't necessarily
sucked.
seen the same amount of volume in terms of experience out of Pickett. So I think there's a little bit of like the wild card. Can you catch lightning somewhere?
Yeah.
Because he reminds me a lot, and I forget the guy's name. The one that came in when Burrow got hurt.
Oh, that he was solid. Browning, right?
Yeah.
Jake Browning. Yeah, it was
If
Browning.
you have something like that, and he just doesn't get the experience to show it, I think that question's still out on Pickett. Purely on tape that they've produced so far, you would have to go Daniel Jones just because if nothing else, he's the better rushing threat of the two. So if their throwing ability is even and you're adding in that athleticism aspect, then there's the answer.
I think this is a really good point by Jones too, and I love what you just said. I think next year's a little more loaded at quarterback, and I think teams are like, "Hey, if we suck, we line ourselves up for a quarterback next year." It's just it's
especially with the next generation of which last name coming out.
Exactly. So I don't know, man.
You're not wrong.
It's going to be interesting.
We can't agree on something when it comes to Cleveland area sports.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about my team and then yours, if that's cool. Unless you want to hit the Bears. If you want to hit the Bears first, I don't. It's totally fine.
No, Packers would be fine. There's less to hit there anyway.
No, for the yeah, you're funny. I want to hit the Cowboys too because I had prepared for Jones.
Yeah.
So Jones, stick here. Tell you what, we're gonna hit them pretty quick in just a second. The Packers go with Matthew Golden, 4.29 speed, and then they go and get an offensive tackle, which is funny. You're messaging me about Jordan Morgan, which I agree with, but I think we needed another lineman anyways. I just thought it was going to be a defensive lineman, but I don't hate this because they're investing in Jordan Love, which is if you want him to succeed, you got to do this.
Yeah.
I know he was up and down last year, but he was banged up. If you want to give him a chance, let's figure it out. No, he's not Aaron Rodgers yet. He may not ever be. There's very few guys, if we're being honest, even though he's a jerk, very few quarterbacks have ever hit Aaron Rodgers level. It's not a jerk. It's not me being crazy to say that.
No.
You as a Bears fan know that. He's awesome. He failed in the playoffs, but he was one of the best passers in NFL history. It's really hard to hit that level. Brett Favre, as good as he was, I don't think, and you can make an argument he was as good as Rodgers, but we got super lucky with those two. If you want any chance of Love getting even close to that level, there's a reason Favre and Rodgers succeeded. They had a lot of talent around them early in their careers.
Mm-hmm.
And that really helped both of them develop.
Yeah.
We haven't done Love that favor, other than Jacobs.
Right.
Our receiving core isn't even close to sniffing yours, especially now with freaking Luther Burden as your number 3. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
and you guys have Loveland.
Not many
and I
teams
was right,
that can
though.
lose Keenan Allen and get better.
But also, as much as I like Komet, I didn't see him as an elite tight end. You guys went out and got freaking Colson Loveland.
Right.
Look at that. You were like, we're gonna have 2 tight ends. And if Loveland's as good as people say, boom, you got Caleb Love as security blanket. You invested in the O-line. Now you just invested more in the O-line. I still, even though I have Swift in fantasy, we're just pivoting to the Bears, I guess. You guys still need a running back, in my opinion. I think Swift's good. I think Caleb Johnson would be the pick. Is he gone yet, by the way?
I don't know. But one thing I
draft.
will say with that picking up the 109 or whatever, depending how stuff shakes out, that could very well put us in the Cam Scatterbo territory.
I like Cam Scatterbo for you. I think he'd be a really good fit. I don't know about his speed is like an every down back, but my dad's on him.
But that's what
that,
DeAndre's there for. We don't need speed.
Okay, hold on. So, well, true, but I actually like Scatterbo. That's the thing. 4.6 sucks. Is like it's not as much as good as you want, but he's still up there. Okay, I'm trying to pull up all the.
And I mean, like, looking back, and it goes back to the point I made yesterday with when you were bringing up Audric Estime from Denver and stuff like that. Sure, he's not a burner, which seems to be what a lot of teams and stuff are looking for, but he's a good football player. Forte wasn't fast, and he's bordering on Hall of Fame.
It's game speed, though. You don't want to get caught from behind.
Yeah.
You need to be able, like, okay, here's my example on this. What did Zeke run when he came out? Ezekiel Elliott. Was he 4.3 or 4.4?
I want to say like upper 4.3s, low 4.4s. I want to say
40 speed. Okay. So Zeke when he came out was a 4.47.
Okay.
That here, and I know it happens to every NFL player. Hell, I'm 37. It's happened to me. I can I'm stronger. I go work out, but I've lost speed. It happens. It happens to every. And as an NFL player, he's taking punishment. I get it, but.
Yay. Sorry, my Illinois player just went. Woohoo.
Nice. So Zeke went. I want to give me 1 second. We'll hit it. I promise.
Yeah.
4.47. Now he's not even with the team. But last year, what was he like 4.8? Here's the problem. He lost so much short area burst that he couldn't even rip off a 12-yard run anymore.
Yeah.
And that it happens to every NFL player where they lose that a little bit, but that's what made like Walter Payton great, Curtis Martin great, is even though they lost a half a step, they still had game speed. It's not about 40, it's about how fast are you on the field in your short acceleration, your burst, if you get an opening, how can you pull away or not get caught is the thing I'm waiting for. Estime is a great runner, but a really good runner. He was in college. He's got vision, but you need, if you're going to be 4.7, you've got to have amazing acceleration. That's the difference between Cam Scatterbo and Estime. Is Scatterbo has that acceleration, even though he doesn't have great long-term speed. I think he'll be fine in the right system. So I like it for you guys.
No, I could see like a Kiki Barber-esque type comparison there. Not like gonna pull away from anyone, but he's not gonna get caught either.
Okay, so the Packers go offensive tackle, they go receiver. Did you like the Golden pick?
Yes and no. I actually had him rated more second round, but I get that's close enough to the second round that it's not a huge reach. I don't think. Okay. I did just pure, and a lot of it comes down to physique and stuff like that. Pure physique. I did actually have Burden ranked ahead of him, as well as Higgins, but I had him in like the territory right behind them.
So I read up on all these guys, but I did myself a favor. I didn't watch too much tape after Golden and Tet because if the Packers didn't take a receiver, I didn't want to get upset. But I read a ton on them.
Yeah.
Then after we drafted Golden today, I watched tape on him. I liked Burden's yards after the catch, but the thing I got to say about Golden, it was really close. I would slightly edge Golden, but there was something about he was always open. And he's a better route runner than Burden. Burden does more after he gets the ball in his hands than Golden, but Burden did more than any receiver in college football the last 2 years when he had the ball in his hands. That's what he's special at. But his route running's a little rigid. He's not quite as quick, and he doesn't separate as well. But he's stronger. So he's stronger, and he does more after the catch, so there's plus and minuses. I got to say, man, after watching Jaden Higgins today, because I was hoping he'd go to the Packers, I actually think he's going to be better than Ted.
It's possible.
Dude, he separates. He looks so quick for a dude that's 6'4".
Yeah,
He looks so fast on tape, man. And
yeah, he does.
like the quickness for that size, that's stupid, dude. He could have. I didn't think he would follow the Packers anyways. I'm not
No,
surprised he went 34, but I think he's going to be an absolute steal. Seriously,
yeah,
I don't quite get him next to Nico, but because they're both big, but I guess they just want tall guys for CJ Stroud. I guess.
yeah. Well, I think he's also kind of like the safety valve plan if Dell can't come back.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just funny that they picked another one with so much size, but hey, it's not,
Well, I mean, look
it's not a
at, and
negative.
this is, you could argue, at least in terms of overall talent, one of the best pure teams or receiving duos to never win a Super Bowl. Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden.
That's a good point.
You can't
It's
guard
not
both
all
of
about
them.
it's not all about size and speed either. It's how well can you get open. That's what I like about Golden is his route
Yeah,
running. I still have him as a first round grade. I don't love that he never had 1,000 yards, but he did play in Texas, who didn't have a great quarterback anyways. They really didn't. So,
yeah. No, I
you know
forget.
what I mean?
Texas had moved to the SEC, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so I think that's
Thanks,
where like
dude.
part of it comes in also, is that Burton spent 4 years in that. Golden only being there for in it for two. You're not going to have that same experience against the competition all 4 years either.
True story. And he really did boom at the end of last season. And I think he's going to create space for the other receivers. I'm still hoping we go get another one, but we need edge and corner if we let Jair go,
Yeah.
and defensive tackle too. So, hell, I think if Scatterbo falls, I wouldn't mind him next to Jacobs. That'd be fun. So, there's a lot of positions the Packers could go. Great pick, great draft so far for the Bears. So,
Hmm.
you guys, okay, so y'all took, I'm pulling it up right now. So y'all got not that. I don't want to do a mock draft. We're talking about the actual NFL draft now. So you guys went. Where is it? I had it up. There it is. Okay. So the Bears they got Luther Burden after getting Colson Loveland. Then you guys, this was interesting. You go Ozzie Trapio,
Mm,
and then you pick up another second. And you get Shamar Turner in that trade.
it's huge.
Makuba is the last pick for the Eagles. That's a heck of a pick. Now we're
Yeah.
into the third round. The Browns just took a tight end. They skipped on Shador again. Darius Alexander goes to the Giants. Gillette goes to the Chiefs. Darian Porter to the Raiders. Kyle Williams to the Patriots. Oh, there you go. Isaac Tesla to the Lions. That's
Mm,
70.
wow.
That is high, man. I didn't expect 70.
No, but that just makes them more dangerous too.
True story. There's another guy, Dante Thornton, I like, but Ty Felton is the other receiver I'm looking for the Packers. But they need
And
somebody with a little more size, so Thornton makes more sense. But I
unless I've missed him,
yeah,
Jalen Noel's still on the board too.
Jalen Noel still is on the board. I was
Oh,
surprised the Packers didn't go Mike Green, but I guess they had problems with like I said earlier, I guess they just had issues with the character concerns.
yeah.
But any other picks so far in the first round or second round that really stood out to you from any other teams? And then we got to hit Cowboys for Jones because
Yeah.
he's.
Um.
I'm really sad he's not here, but it's a computer thing. I get it.
That first round Saints one, I don't get it.
Which one was that? Oh, the first round Saints.
Yeah.
The first round Saints. Sorry, my brain is mush.
Yeah. Same.
4 hours from almost 4 hours last night, and
Yeah.
obviously I didn't fall asleep right after. I watched the rest of the picks, and I was just wired. The Saints did. Oh. Yeah, I don't hate Banks, but that was a little bit of a reach. It's not like a second round grade. I didn't have him as a second rounder, but to take him
Right.
at 9 when damn, I mean Shador's there. I guess nobody wanted Shador,
Yeah.
but there was just so many other more talented guys there. Like they did need a
Yeah.
tackle. I just
No, it's one of those like, especially if you're taking someone that you're projecting on the interior to start, you better be right, given who you just passed on then.
true
And
story.
I'm just not sure they are.
I was a little surprised by the Broncos going Johnny Barron, considering they already have strengths on defense. Why
Mm,
didn't they running back? I mean, I like Estime, but they let Javonte Williams go. Uh, they need another running back. They don't really have one. They really only have Estime. I think they have somebody else I'm forgetting, but nobody special. They needed a running back. They needed, even though they took Franklin, he didn't do anything last year. So they
mm,
could have used a receiver as well. They invested in Ingram. They have Sutton, who's great, but they needed a secondary threat at receiver to take some pressure off Bo Nix or running back badly. Peyton
yeah,
loves these platoon systems, but you got to have a little more talent at the position, I think.
right.
But it's a deep running back class, so you can hit on it
Yeah,
later, you know.
yeah. Because
But
I
that
mean,
was
there's running backs that are going to go in like the fifth or sixth round here. That would have been like third or second or third rounders the last couple.
well. Also, I mean, you got to. I personally loved Omarion Hampton to the
Yeah,
Chargers. That's such a Jim Harbaugh movie. He's like, you know what? We got Najee Harris, and then he landed Trey Harris in the second round.
right.
Slick move. I like that because
Yeah.
he would have been a first rounder had he been healthy.
Oh yeah, easy.
So if he gets healthy, you got another guy next to Ladd now. But you
Mm,
also got your workhorse guy, Andy. I'm gonna be on break, but we're gonna be doing some stuff next season, man. I hope you had fun, dude. Um, that's and I'm gonna give him a shout out. Reason 4, he runs the Reason 4 podcast. It's NFC North Trash Talk. It's great.
oh, nice. Okay.
We live rent free in your heads, bud. You already know it. It is what it is. You can't, you guys got one meaningless victory. But you know what? I am going to say this. This division is going to be very competitive this season.
Hmm.
I don't know if there's going to be a bottom feeder. If JJ's good, I think all 4 teams are going to be running 8 wins or better. Seriously.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm happy at fun, man. It looked awesome. Seriously. He's a great dude. I love Andy. He's awesome. But
Mm. Looks like
he's
Noel just went, by the way.
Ooh, which team?
Um, whoever was picking right before Houston, I'm guessing, because they're showing his highlights. So
Okay, I'll hit it in a second. This Eagles, really quick, I want to hit first round really fast. We got to hit Cowboys. Jahad Campbell and Josh Simmons. I think this is really interesting that the Chiefs. Here's what I think happened. Chiefs are up at 31. They call they call Howie Roseman. They're like the Chiefs GM. I can't remember his name. He's like, hey, I'm gonna take Jahad Campbell unless you offer me a trade. And the Eagles GM's like, I'll give you a fourth. Let's flip them. Done. they
yeah,
they
pretty
swapped
much.
31 and 32. I'm like, there's no other scenario that happens. Good on the Chiefs, but the Eagles got their guy, so good for them. All right, we gotta talk Cowboys for Jones if he's still here. I actually don't hate the Tyler Booker pick. I just because Martin retired, and it was a really anti-Jerry move. Good for them. But what are they doing at running back? This is the second year in a row now. There's been depth in the draft, and they keep screwing up. And they don't have another receiver. What are they doing?
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I mean, the pick on an island, yeah, you needed a replacement for Zach Martin. I get it.
Yeah,
There's enough of those. I mean, Marcus Mbow is still out there now.
yeah, that's
You're
true.
telling me you couldn't get him later and get address the skill positions because you can have all the blocking in the world. If they don't have anyone to block for, that's not going to matter much.
Landon Jackson just went to Buffalo. Vernon
Yep.
Broughton went to the Saints. Azaria Thomas, who I really liked, went to the Jets. Pat Bryant went to the Broncos in a trade. The Broncos traded up for Bryant. The problem is though, he looks more like a receiver 2 or like maybe 3 or 4, even though I liked him. So I'm not sure if that was the right guy for the Broncos, but at least
But I
they
mean, even if he's
tried.
receiver 3, you've got someone. If Franklin doesn't continue progressing, you've got someone that can step into the 2 role and demand attention opposite Sutton, where you at least can't just shift everything over to his side.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too, Jones. I mean, you guys did need somebody to replace Martin. If you don't have a line, Dak's gonna have a bad year, but you guys got to get another receiver or running back up in
Yeah.
there. You have to. You got CeeDee Lamb and Ferguson's decent, but that's it. That's not enough.
Noel was to the Texans also, by the way.
I missed it. I don't see it. Where is it?
So Stroud's got to be ecstatic right now.
Wait, when was that? I'm on NFL.com.
His 78.
Oh, it's not updated.
Yeah.
I'm wondering where my Packers are going to go in this third round. I'm really hoping they go edge rusher or defensive tackle or corner is what I'm hoping for, or another receiver. I'm not going to be mad about.
And I hear Shadur Sanders is still available.
Yeah,
You
you
sit
guys
him
could
for
draft
3
him
or
to be
4 years
Caleb.
anyway. What does it matter?
You could sit him to be Caleb's backup when he's done with his career in a year and a half because they can't protect him. Because somehow you guys invest all this O line and then he still gets wrecked over and over again because he holds onto the ball for 7 seconds of play. I told my dad, I was like, I'm bringing Peter on. We're just gonna have a blast. We're just gonna razz each other. How many wins for the Bears this year? Do they get 7 or do they get 8, Peter?
Honestly, no, I think they're assuming they can stay healthy, which I mean, obviously you can say that about every team or whatever. Assuming they can stay healthy, I think their floor is like 9.
Here's the thing. If you guys want to be excellent, though, your defense took a little bit of a step back last year. Like the Packers defense looked better, but our offense took a step back. Y'all's offense started clicking later in the season, but your defense wasn't elite. Like you need another edge badly. And you haven't gotten it, right?
Well, I mean, that depends what you think of the guy we signed from Indy, too.
Which one?
Dare Ogbis, something or other.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not a game breaker. Like, here's
No,
the thing:
but
if Garrett still
you don't
has,
need to be.
it depends on how much juice Garrett has left. Because if Garrett can take some pressure off of, gosh dang it, man, my brain's mush. Who's your defensive end? Sweat.
Montez Sweat, yeah.
Yeah, he needs to take some pressure off Sweat so you guys can actually get to the pass rusher. Because where your weakness was last year was O line and D line. That was your weakness.
Yeah, well,
and you got to strengthen those.
And I will say too, the other thing.
No, you're good.
Yeah, sorry, you froze up there a little.
Oh.
The other thing I was saying with bringing Jared in, there's rumors that Dexter slimmed down a little bit to where they might actually be putting him on the outside edge opposite Sweat.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And bringing Shamar Turner in, that's the rotation piece that you put in place of that, so you can do something like that with Dexter.
Good point. I like that. That's good. Good stuff. Okay. Where are we in the third round? Let's do a live. Okay, so Jordan Burch
82 picks in.
The Cowboys go with a corner. Jerry, man, give it up, dude. Oh my gosh. They're really gonna roll with CeeDee Lamb and wait, hold on a second. Jones, I'm sorry. I got this. Your running backs room is Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams as your running back 1. I do like Tyler Booker, don't get me wrong. Ned loved it. But there are still receivers out there that can make an impact. I love Ty Felton. I think he's going to be good. You said Noel. He looks good too. There's other ones too. Nick Nash.
Yeah. I like Dante Thornton. Unless I missed it, Caleb Johnson's still out there.
Caleb Johnson, a running back. I mean, oh my gosh. Like, what are you doing? That's an upgrade from last year. But Dowdle was actually good. You guys let him go for nothing. You had money and you didn't re-sign the best running back you had by a mile and you downgraded. Because Sanders looks terrible. Javonte, maybe he could pan out. Maybe Javonte is better. Javonte will actually probably exceed expectations. But
yeah.
Jerry, man, you're I feel bad, dude. Like, what are you doing? I think they're going to struggle to get 7-8 wins. I really do.
Yeah, especially in that division now, too.
Unless the Commanders take a massive step back, the Giants are going to suck, so you'll get 1 or 2 on them. You're going to be lucky to get 1 on the Commanders or the Eagles at this point. For real. Like, I don't see it. I think the Packers took a massive step up if Belton's good because they got a receiver. But the rest of this draft is going to be important. I think the Bears took a step up. If Loveland is as good as we think, Burden's drop in production last year sucked, but the whole offense did. But he was one of my favorite receivers.
Yeah.
It's just going to depend on these picks pan out because we liked your offensive tackle last year. He didn't pan. The Packers took an offensive tackle in the first round. He didn't pan. So these picks, we like them before, and some of them just don't pan out. Jerry, I agree.
Well, actually, that was the other thought I had about Amedaje, too, You imagine now with drafting Tripio as like kind of the swing tackle and or to push Braxton Jones and such.
I think it's to push
Imagine if
Braxton
they end
Jones.
up moving Jones and Amedaje inside.
Well, you guys, wait. You picked up Thuney. You picked up.
Right, but I'm
Yeah.
saying it as like
Who'd
depth
you pick up
pieces
from the
and
Rams?
stuff like that.
Well, yeah, they might be depth. Who'd you pick
Yeah.
up at guard? Was it Jonah Jackson from the
Jonah
Rams?
Jackson.
Who'd you pick up at center? You picked up a center too.
Drew Dahlman from Atlanta.
I think at least two of those guys start.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson's probably a starter. You know Thuney's a starter.
Yeah.
That's a great move.
Yeah.
Really comes down to if you can solidify your tackles, your line set. So
yeah. And
can
I
these
think it's
guys
really left
solidify?
tackles because Darnell Wright's absolutely the answer at right tackle.
Also, it drops off. You've done these mocks, and it's not just the mocks. Offensive tackle, there's a huge freaking drop off right now. There's like one more, and then there's none for like 70 picks unless you reach. For real. It's
Yeah.
like 40, 50 at least, and it's like you're reaching. So good on the Packers and Bears deciding to do it because it did drop off quickly. So I'm not like over the moon about Belton, but I did like him. He was one of my favorite tackles. And if we were gonna do it, if it hits, I'm good. So I'm happy with my draft so far. I would have preferred edge, but it's okay. We got our receiver. I actually really love him. Between him and Bird, I would have gone golden, just being honest. But barely. But I'm gonna be honest, this is my order. Now that I've watched more tape, and I'm gonna be controversial here. Steve Smith, my dad watches him. He had this too. I'm gonna shock you here. My order is this: Golden, Burden, Higgins, Tet. I think they're better. I think I just don't see the separation with Tet, dude. And you got Bryce Young, who did look better last year, but he looks anything from a sure bet. They have two good running backs, but I don't know. I just don't see him getting open in the NFL. What happened?
Steelers don't need a running back anymore.
Do you get Caleb?
Yep.
Good for them.
They but now I'm confused where Sugar's ever gonna go.
People must really be down on this.
Are we looking at him going undrafted here?
No, he'll get drafted. Well, I don't know. Actually, you can say that. I like the Landon Jackson pick to the to the Bills. Those slick. Yeah. I like Princely too to the Panthers. Solid. That's I mean at that point, and Birch isn't bad for the Cardinals, even though they're still going to suck. But what pick are we on now? I'm in the other room.
84 is on the clock, and pick is in for Tampa.
Packers picking like 5 picks. Okay, it's gonna be good. Yeah, man, this is gonna be fun. I'm excited. I think we're gonna go for about 30 more minutes. Do you watch? Okay. Do you cover? Do you do NBA or not at all?
Hit and miss. Yeah. Not as much as I used to, for sure. It's probably the third sport now.
Oh, what's your second?
Baseball.
Nice. Do you think anybody in the West challenges the Thunder? Or do you think that they're just going to roll?
I think if Minnesota advances, they could.
Jones,
and personally, I would love to see it for more than just the obvious reasons that we won't go into, because then it's going to lead to another 100 comments.
Here's the other thing, though. An argument of LeBron, even though I have Jordan too.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan was not this good at 40. He just wasn't. He was still good. Don't get me wrong, but he had severely declined.
Sure, but he also wasn't playing next to Luka Doncic in his 40-year-old season. He had Kwame Brown was the second best player on that team.
Fair, but he had definitely, you could see the precipitous drop. Even though he was still averaging 20 and was still an all-star.
Yeah.
But the drop was huge. For LeBron, it's been more of a plateau.
Yeah.
And it's been even better than Kareem. He's doing what he's doing in the NBA at 40. Even Kareem, even Jordan weren't this good. So at least if you're giving a longevity argument, and yeah, you're right, he's playing next to Luka. But I mean, he was better than Davis on that team last year. Two-way. And right now, he plays better defense than Luka. Luka's definitely better. But damn, dude, what he's still doing at 40, averaging about 25 a game.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not taking anything away from him. He's in my top 3 for sure. I just the bigger issue I have with him, honestly, isn't even going into like the stats and stuff as much. that people MJ played against are the ones that called him the GOAT. He never called himself that, especially not before he won a single freaking game in the league.
True, but the talent level in the NBA right now, even though it's less physical, is actually greater. And they can shoot from more than 8 feet. And it's not as physical, but in the postseason it is. And the level, and Jordan never had to go against the Warriors. There just wasn't a team out there. Other than the Jazz in the late 90s, there
Pistons.
wasn't a team. Yeah, and he lost to him. And once they got strong enough, they just destroyed him. And other than the Knicks in the early 90s, there really wasn't a team that was even close to their level. There's some teams that won 60 games,
I would
but they weren't even.
argue the Sonics were closer than people realize, because Peyton and
True.
Hersey Hawkins were a solid backcourt.
And Sean Kemp.
Yeah.
No, you're right, but they still weren't, like, even though they won 2 in a row and they made Jordan play a bad game 6 in 96 finals, it was a shock that they even won 2, because that was the 72 win Bulls. They were killing them. I would argue the Jazz were a better matchup for the Bulls, because
100%, yeah.
they had Malone, even though Rodman was still awesome, he was getting older, and Stockton, even though he was older, was destroying the Bulls point guards. And they still had Hornacek, even though he wasn't Jordan. He was a solid third option. They just didn't quite have the. They needed a better center or small forward to really push the Bulls, but Jordan was just too good.
And I mean the bench is honestly where the biggest mismatches overall were in that thing, because they're bringing Shandon Anderson or Brian Russell off the bench. We're bringing Tony Kukoc off. End of discussion.
And Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
But also LeBron, the thing he does that was something that Jordan did. So both of them did this. Kobe, not so much, actually. A little bit. The ability to reinvent themselves. Brady kind of did this too in the NFL, actually. He got rid of the ball quicker, and that's why he was able to. And I know they protect the quarterback, but still the last into your 40s is absurd, because look at what Aaron Rodgers is. Rodgers, I know he had an injury, but he has declined so massively.
Yeah.
And he's 41. Brady was still really good at 45. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So LeBron's kind of spoiling us, because nobody's done this at 40, but his ability to continue to reinvent his game is what Jordan did.
Yeah.
And that's what makes LeBron, like, if you don't have him in your top 5, I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Just because it's not realistic. Like, Magic was amazing. He's the only other guy for me that has an argument, and Kareem, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I've taken some level of heat, and probably rightfully so, because I know part of it is just the homer bias, having grown up watching Jordan when it was actually happening.
It was also the fear
I think
factor.
having LeBron in the top 5 of all time and having him in the starting 5 of all time are two very different discussions.
What's my starting 5 would be Magic, Jordan, LeBron, Duncan, and then at the 5, I'm gonna just go ahead and I love Kareem, but I think it's Bill Russell. But you could argue me Kareem. It's probably Kareem. But I don't know. I think Russell is more of what I want because of his defense. But Kareem was an underrated defender as well. So Kareem or Bill, either one. I'm good with both. Jordan's better. LeBron's better than Bird. He lasted longer, so much longer.
Yeah. Oh no, this one could be biased. Like, I know obviously LeBron, like, offensively and stuff, I would take over probably any other pure, like, small forward or whatever you want to call him,
but
in the league and such.
Who's your argument over LeBron?
Defense, I think, matters here, and he's never. I mean, he's all right. He's never really impressed me on that end of the floor the same as he did offensively. And I know this is where I have the trouble comparing eras too, because you're playing great defense in a league where it's illegal to play defense the way I'm used to playing it.
He was all NBA defensive team 5 times first team, 1 time second team. And they don't win that ring against the Warriors if he doesn't make that block. against a 73-win team.
Yeah, but they also don't win that series against the Warriors if Draymond doesn't get suspended for a joke amount of games.
Fair, but he also smartly baited Draymond to be an idiot. So I think
Yeah,
that's psychological. I'm giving him points for
like
messing with
I
Draymond
honestly
and pulling
that
that
would be the
off.
one thing it would be fun to do is just to see because Rodman was so versatile. It would be fun to put Rodman on him.
Okay, can we pivot? I want to come back. I
Yes.
promise. We'll keep doing this. Rev, I just want to say thank you for watching. Honestly, if you want to hop on for a minute and talk Packers, I'd be game. If you
Yeah,
want the link.
I don't
But
get it either.
I don't know, dude. I don't know why the Browns won't. Like both of them. Your quarterbacks, no offense, suck. Unless Aaron Rodgers is going there, and I still don't love that. What are
No,
you doing? Take a
because you
chance.
still need one after this season.
What
Then,
about Jalen Milrow? Why
yeah,
not? At this point, like, what are you doing?
yeah,
Like, I'm sorry. This is the kind of decisions that gets GMs fired. This is
yeah.
why I don't think Joe Shane's going to make it. I don't know. Rev, do you like the Belton pick? What'd you think? I'm reading up on him. I personally liked him. I'm just curious what you thought. And also, thank you to
Packers are on
almost
the
200
clock.
people for
Maybe
watching.
they stop his slide. No,
Do you? Who do you think they go with realistically? I do like the Caleb Johnson pick for the Steelers, so that's a very Steeler-like running back, don't you think?
yeah.
Caldwell to
I
the
don't know.
the
That's a
Chiefs.
good
Wait.
question.
Did the Chiefs trade up for a corner?
They
Shoot, they
might have.
did. Wow. That might have been one of the earlier trades, but yeah, they were
Yeah,
up at 21 in the third. Look at that. Belton, I actually like him. I like him better than Morgan, if I'm being honest, and that's just not biased. I wasn't big on Morgan last year. Belton was a guy I liked before. I just was hoping we would wait till the third. Here's the thing, and you know this, but I know you know this because I know you're not watch enough Packers. Goody is better at late round linemen. He tends
yeah.
to make gems out of them. I was
Mhm.
hoping he would wait just because that's what tends to happen. But
Yeah, no, he's like the same as what we had. As much as I didn't like a lot of what Pace did,
yeah,
finding Jordan Howard in the 5th round
I'm gonna text my dad just during this.
is
Oh,
like
hold on.
pretty
Just for one, I've never done this on a show. I'm gonna call him and see if he'll tell me to pick.
okay.
I never do this, but it's the last show of the season, so this will be fun.
There you go.
Okay, I'm live. People can hear you. What's the pick? The Packers are up.
Hey, the Packers are up. They're singing songs. Somebody's coming out to give the selection. It's the 87th overall pick.
This is a great announcement. I love it. Can you hear him?
The crowd looks fired up. It looks like it's nice there. It's like not too cold. It's
Interesting.
cool.
I heard it was like 50 today.
Hall of Famers Jerry Kramer and linebacker Dave Robinson are announcing the pick.
Cool. Can you hear him, Peter?
Wow.
Yep.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good. I turned you up.
All right.
It's just me and Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Jones's
How are you,
internet's bugging out. He says, "How are you?"
Good.
I have you on headphones, so he's wiped from last night.
Savion Williams, wide receiver from TCU.
What? Another receiver! Yeah!
Rodgers has to be going ballistic right now.
Receiver. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to hang up on my dad. Oops. I got excited. I didn't mean to hang up. I got so excited. I was like ready to I got to keep doing the show, but that's awesome. Tell you what, I'll call you when I'm done in a little bit, okay?
Do you want me to give the scouting report on him?
Yeah, you know what? Do it. Yeah. Rev, did you like Savion?
Savion Williams, right? We needed this guy.
I like this a lot. I don't think Peter likes it. He looks upset.
Well, that way you guys can have two people to try and replace Christian Watson dropping 70-yard passes.
Savion Williams, can everybody hear me?
Yep.
6'4", 222, right? Ran a 4.48.
4.48 at 6'4". We got some size, and he's at TCU. Love it.
If we didn't get Higgins, this was the consolation prize. Unique prospect. His workout. He's they call him the Manimal. He's versatile, played running back, 51 rushing attempts,
Running
6
back.
rushing touchdowns playing running back, played quarterback in high school, right?
300 yards rushing. What?
Yeah. 6 rushing touchdowns.
He had almost
He has
1,000
burst,
yards
speed,
collectively.
agility. The comp is he's a plus Patterson,
Sounds like a Debo Samuel.
like a plus Cordell Patterson.
Interesting.
Alabama. Let me see. Where's he from?
So he's a glorified kick returner.
You heard of him, right, Peter?
Cordell Patterson? Yeah.
Not a great route runner, more of a joker role. You know that hybrid role in the offense.
Yep.
So just he brings a lot to the table, especially at that size.
I like this. Okay. I'm going to call you back in a little bit. We're going to probably go for like 20 more minutes.
Later.
Love you.
Love you.
Man, this is fun.
So you guys drafted a glorified kick returner.
You've heard of him. You know him, right? You actually know who this is. You know who this is too, don't you? You actually look kind of ticked because you're like, God, he's actually pretty good.
I actually like him as a receiver better than Golden, in all honesty.
Wow. You're not big on Golden, are you?
No.
Here's the thing. He gets, I said it earlier. I'm going to recap what I said, but I like that Golden gets open. Burden is stronger, but I like Golden's route running. He's smart and changes direction quickly. I don't love that he needs to get stronger, but he was always getting freaking open. I didn't see 4-3, but he was always open. And I even heard Bill Simmons say that, one of the best podcasters in the world. He said that too. I was like, that's what I thought. Burden didn't consistently get separation, but when he got the ball, he made special things happen. So I like that.
Right.
He's a little more compact and strong. He reminds me more of like Jaden Reed build than a Randall Cobb. Like Golden looks like a glorified, speedier Randall Cobb. But at his apex, Cobb was great. He just faded way too quick.
Right. So. But Cobb also didn't have like the catching questions and stuff like that. Because I mean, look at what you had said about Xavier Worthy. 4.29 speed doesn't matter if you can't catch.
But he also did get better late in the season. And if we get that out of Golden, Worthy started making big plays, not only in the Super Bowl, but in the playoffs too. So I agree. He had a bad season, but the Chiefs offense as a whole did. And he made some big catches in multiple playoff games. So I like that. It wasn't just the Super Bowl. The conference championship and I think he had a couple big catches in the second round game against Houston, but he blew up against the Bills. So yeah, I agree. It wasn't a great season.
And to be fair, he also blew up in the second half of the Super Bowl once the Eagles stopped playing defense.
True. I think it was the. I gotta pull it up. Hold on. It was the. Yeah, and he got in big trouble now too. So that's stupid. He's only 21, which is crazy. He turns 22 soon. He had 1,000 yards his last year in Texas. He only had 638 yards for the Chiefs, but that was just as a rookie. In 3 playoff games, he had 287 yards, 3 TDs. Good. And I know some of that was in garbage time, but that's still good that he was starting to excel. I was starting to see flashes where I was like, oh, shoot. He's like, some guys don't put it together instantly. Not everybody's Justin Jefferson.
No, like that catch he made in the Super Bowl was good. It would have meant a lot more if they weren't down by 21 with 2 minutes left.
True story. But I'm hoping Golden, when I watched him on tape, what I was impressed with, I was like, shoot, he's just flying by people. Like, he doesn't look that fast, but he's like 3 steps past them. But it wasn't just on those plays. There was some over the middle where he'd catch it and he'd try to bully through people. So I still think he's got more talent than the guys we have. And I think he might make life easier for Jaden Reed. And who I like, actually. I could see him making life easier for Jaden Reed. Now we got this big guy. On the other side, if he's even close to a starter, now we got a guy with some size and speed. And then you can put Wicks and Dubs on the inside next to Reed.
Yeah. The one thing, and granted, this is coming from a team that probably has one of the few secondaries that can like switch people around enough to match up with, like, assuming those are your guys' top 3 or whatever, is that then we just have Kyler Gordon shadow wherever Savion goes and use Tyreek and JJ on the other 2. I mean,
what I like is you're funny. What I like is we still have Dubs and we still have Wicks that are good receivers, and I think this is going to help our depth when one guy's hurt. But
Yeah,
I think we can move guys around, and LaFleur likes to use motion and creativity. I think he's going to be able to move guys around and be more flexible with the entire offense.
yeah.
So that's what I
No,
like
that's
about
fair.
that.
I don't necessarily dislike the golden pick. I just didn't have him rated as highly as some others did.
No, that's fair. I had him, dude. It was almost a tie between him and Bird. But
Mhm.
those are my top two receivers. And then, frankly, now that I've watched, because I was hoping that we would skip receiver. Now we went two receivers. We knew we needed to hit it. But
Yeah.
like I said, I had Higgins, and then I actually really like Felton. He was actually pretty high for me. But I had Ted at 4. It was like
Yeah.
Golden and Burden right there, and
Mhm.
then Higgins right behind him, and then a little drop off in Ted. I'm serious. I
Where
just don't
did
see
you
it.
have Igbokwe ranked out of
Oh,
curiosity?
right there with Ted, but it probably just out of respect to Ted, I put him 4th. But
Okay.
you could make an argument to me that Igbokwe should be 4th ahead of Ted. I could go
Okay.
Ted 5, but I had Burden and Golden right there.
Yeah.
Higgins, Igbokwe, Ted. If I'm being
Okay.
fair, like that's
And I
just I
mean,
know it's me to
obviously
Ted, but
Travis Hunter is different because that's just ridiculous.
yeah, if we're calling Travis Hunter receiver, you know,
Yeah. Well, I mean, like say what you will, because obviously there's a step up between college and the pros. But winning the Heisman, the best defensive player, and the best receiver in one season, are you kidding me right now?
exactly. Okay, I'm gonna give my quick basketball predictions just because we're gonna wrap up in a few
Okay.
minutes. But
Please, Minnesota win tonight.
you're funny. They're tied right now, second quarter. I think the Lakers squeak that series out in 6 or 7. I think the Warriors they need Butler healthy, but if he's
Yeah.
healthy, they beat the Rockets. The Clippers play tomorrow night. I think they roll the Nuggets. The Thunder that series is over. So then it's going to be Thunder, Clippers, Lakers, Warriors. I'm a little worried about the Warriors' flexibility, but I think the Lakers figure them out, and you get a Lakers Thunder conference finals. I just don't think I think the Thunder are too good. So I think the Thunder
Yeah.
go to the finals. I think the Celtics come out of the East. Knicks probably squeak by the Pistons, but they're going to be tough in 5 or 6.
Mhm.
It's going to be a hard fought series. Celtics win.
Yeah.
Surprised the Magic even won a game, but the Celtics take that series. They breeze in 5. I think it's Celtics Thunder finals, and I think it just depends. If you get the best of the Celtics, I think they can beat the Thunder, but it's going to be tough. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say Celtics repeat, but I am not going to be remotely surprised that the Thunder figure this out. I think
fair.
that they're the most complete team, but I think the Celtics have the most overall talent. It just is hard to repeat that hunger thing. You saw the Chiefs. Yeah, they did it last year because they really wanted back to back. But that was one of the things that was missing in the Super Bowl. Like I didn't see Kelsey pissed off this year when they're getting their butts kicked. So
Mhm.
it is what it is. So those are my predictions. I'm loving my Packers draft. I think the Bears just got a lot better. We still need to hit edge rusher. I'm going to be curious if you all go running back in day 3. Those are some of my predictions. But Jalen Noel to the Texans, that is very interesting. After getting, God, that is such an interesting move. After getting,
They clearly, I've got to think at this point, clearly don't expect Tank Dell back this season.
no, I don't think they did.
Yeah.
But it's weird because they have Christian Kirk, who still can play, and now you just load up a receiver. It's kind of like what the Bucks did landing Igbokwe, who I love,
Mhm.
but they have Igbokwe after getting McMillan. But I guess they're thinking Godwin and Evans are aging, so they're gonna have their 2 new receivers coming up, and they wanted to have that's just a position they prioritize, and they want it to roll for Baker, and it's been working. So, I mean, they
Yeah,
need
and I
defense.
mean, plus
Good
that
on them.
gives because they have who do they have behind Baker?
Nobody, but he's only 30. He's 29.
Okay.
He's 30 this
Because
year, so
what I
they're
was
not worried about
thinking,
it.
you almost, depending on how long you're going to end up fully committing to him and stuff, I almost wonder if you take one now or whatever and let him and the young receivers grow together so that by the time Baker, Evans, Godwin step away, you've got the next gen ready to go there.
I know he's undersized and everything, but I think Baker's played so well. I think he's going to get a massive extension. He just turned
Okay.
30. And, dude, this is what's nuts. People low-key don't realize this because the Bucks' defense wasn't good last year.
Mhm.
He had 41 touchdowns last year.
I could see it. Yeah.
And he had 16 picks. He took some gambles. And
Right.
with his 3 touchdowns on the ground, the dude had 44 TDs.
Wow.
I just think they want to see what he's got for a
Yeah.
little longer. They were only 10-7, but the dude had 4,500 passing yards with the 378 on the ground. That's almost 5,000 yards total
Yep.
and 44 touchdowns. I know it's a passing era, and I know he didn't have a great playoff game, but Washington just, sometimes the team comes up, it's not your fault.
Right.
I know he had that little flame out in the early career, but the way he's looking right now, if he has one more great season, they
Yeah.
signed him for 3. They're gonna re-up him.
Yeah.
He
No,
just
and
turned
like
30.
the
He's
early
just turned
career
30.
stuff, that was honestly a lot more on Cleveland than it was on him because
And
they
he
put
still-
nothing around him.
And he still won a playoff game. And then he went to the Rams and he didn't really have a chance. And the Panthers sucked, didn't have anything there. I don't know
Yeah.
who could have made that work. So, I think a lot of that's on Cleveland. He still, won a playoff game with them.
Yeah.
And he's won a playoff game with the Bucks. So he's won as many playoff games as Dak. So,
Right.
So, yeah,
And
I don't know.
Came within two games of having the same amount of NFC titles as Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
It is somewhat on the Packers because they didn't surround him with enough talent, but it's also on Aaron Rodgers that he didn't get enough. He didn't get it done. So
Yeah.
I don't. I hold it against him as well. He annoys the heck out of me, and he annoyed the heck out of me that he always dipped a little in the playoffs. He had enough around him to make a little bit more happen, but what they're doing right now, it's funny because they never did this with Aaron Rodgers, where they picked 2 receivers in the first 3 rounds.
He's got to be going ballistic
He's
just
gotta
watching it. It's like, where was this when I was there?
Exactly. All right, let's finish the LeBron Jordan argument, and then I had fun, and I appreciate you hopping on. But
Yeah,
I'm
anytime.
gonna say adios to everybody and start this hiatus. It's much needed. It's been a long year. My wife is having a major surgery on Monday, and she's still recovering from her leg. And honestly, it'll just be. I still got some small stuff planned, but I want to enjoy this new Xbox a little bit and some time with her, and this summer just relax. And
wow,
why? What happened?
Seahawks just took Jalen Milroe just went ahead of Shedeur.
The Seahawks. That's interesting because they got Darnold. Good insurance policy. I like that. Actually.
Yeah.
I actually low key had them as a Shedeur Milroe location. That's good. I like it. Okay, let's finish this last argument.
Okay.
And honestly, if the Bears hit their picks, I think we might split with y'all again this year. Sadly.
Yeah.
I hope not. I don't want to endure the trash talk. Okay.
It's funny. I hope we don't split either. No.
I know. I hope we just spank y'all twice. If LeBron wins another ring, do you think he solidifies number 2 in NBA history?
If he solidifies 2, I could live with that because I think that puts him clearly ahead of like the Kobe and Kareem argument. Then
I just don't think they got the roster right now. They got to go get a center. They landed the Luka trade, and you just do it. But they tried to get Mark Williams, which if he'd been healthy, might have been a good fit, but not really. It was a big body, but he doesn't really defend. They got to go get a defensive center. And I like Gabe Vincent, but another ball stopper on the perimeter. Then with Luka, Reeves, LeBron, if he's got another season in him, they're going to contend. But they got to go makeshift the rest of the roster. They don't have it right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they got some parts, but they got to go get the rest of the parts in the right spot. Because you can see with the Thunder, if you followed them at all, chemistry is everything. And the Celtics.
Yeah.
And having the right pieces, same thing in the NFL. It's having the right pieces.
And like I think the one thing too, and again, this is where the eras come in because obviously it was more physical era, etc. The best center that MJ ever played with, arguably Bill Cartwright.
Yeah, probably. I like Luke maybe, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, in an era where you had like the Ewings and Robinsons and Shaq in the early 90s and Hakeem and etc. LeBron's the size of some of those guys and is doing is complaining more about physicality than any of them ever did.
Fair, to a degree. Although, to be honest with you, I think we'd be noticing all this complaining stuff if Jordan had social media. I don't think people would look at him the same way. So he's kind of
That's
like the
fair.
benefit of not having social media. Because
Yeah.
can you imagine all the gambling? I don't know if there's infidelity, but there's other rumors. The gambling, especially, all that crap was
Right.
a big thing in the early 90s before social media. Can you imagine how people look at Jordan now? I don't
Yeah.
even think they may still consider him the GOAT, but I think the people would have hated him so much more if he played today. So
Yeah.
Jordan was
No, that's
shielded
fair.
from a lot of that crap, you know?
Yeah. I think a lot of it too does come down to that to some level. Also, I think a lot like if you take each player in their prime and put them in each era, I mean, even in their prime, you look at like LeBron in the 80s and early 90s with how much he complains about certain fouls now. He's not getting off the bench in some of those games.
True story. Also,
You
I
put
just wondered
Michael.
how Jordan would have done with the talent level now because it was pretty watered down in the early 90s. You had Charles Barkley, but there was only like a handful of dudes that could even, and there was the team's construction weren't like, god damn, look at some of the teams now, man. Like the Celtics team would freaking kick most of those teams' asses then. They're loaded.
Yeah,
The
I
Thunder
guess like
too.
the one counter I would have to that would be like because I've heard and seen this argument made online, and I think it's ridiculous. Like the whole Jordan played against plumbers thing and stuff like that.
No. There was great
Well,
talent. He just had the best team. He was on the best
yeah,
team.
but like you even take him like leave his specific contributions to the '92 Dream Team aside. That team beat the other best teams in the world with people that are in the Hall of Fame
By like 40, 50,
by
60.
40 to 45 points a game.
They did.
LeBron lost to a team that has put, or to nations that have never put someone in the Hall of Fame.
Fair. But also, Jordan, except for that last series against the Jazz, and maybe the Charles one, but I would argue that 93 Bulls were still better. It was just at the end of a three-peat. He had the best team every time, and a couple times LeBron had to lift a team that was definitely not better, like the Cavs in 2016. The Lakers definitely were the best team. The 12 Heat were the best team, but I'd argue the 13 Heat, they got lucky with the Ray Allen shot. They were not. And the 16 Warriors were definitely a better team than them. They won 73 games. So Jordan had to beat a better team twice. And I'd argue Jordan only once with the 98 Bulls because Rodman was at his last leg and Pippen was hurt in game 6 and he had to carry him without.
Right.
And what he did in the 97 finals, I think the Jazz were worse, but what he did sick was absolutely historic. So there's other reasons why he's the GOAT. It's just, it's also my childhood, but just the aura around him and the fear factor are real. I just think he wouldn't have won 6 rings if everything else wasn't perfect, and it never was around LeBron. Like he never had a Scotty. Scotty was such a perfect complement to Jordan. And Hugh Grant and Horace Grant, and the other pieces they had were perfect. And then Rodman was fucking sorry, I shouldn't curse. Was freaking perfect for the Bulls in 96 and 97. He just was. It was a perfect fit. Like you won 72 because you had one of the best defensive players in NBA history, and Scotty's still at near his apex.
Yeah,
but
I would argue
that last season
1
when
through
Pippen missed
4.
35 games that year, and when he missed Game 6 in the finals that year, you could argue the Jazz might have been a better team. Jordan was just too good.
No, I would argue that the 95-96 team 1 through 4 is still the best defensive team I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, Ron Harper.
Harper, who people sleep on, he was severely underrated player.
He could score. He just committed to defense with the Bulls, and Jordan took most of the shots back then because there wasn't as much 3-point shooting either. The game was different. It was all inside the 3-point line. Now it's out, and you have to be able to score inside. It's a different game now.
Right. And but the moment you start sagging off him at the 3-point line, ask Portland how that turned out.
I know. I read it. I have a Jordan book, so no, he's still my best, man. I
Yeah.
just like to think of the other side, and I get why people would say LeBron.
Yeah.
I'd say no. That's just my argument, but I like to have that debate.
Yeah.
It's fun for me. So
No, it would have been interesting to see what LeBron did in a league that had actual centers.
I agree. You know what's funny is having the center now is still a massive advantage. Like
Yeah.
Joker's just an absurd player.
Right.
And Embiid when he was healthy is great. Like it's funny how it's like a running back in the NFL where it still is such a advantage if you have it.
Yeah.
But there's just not a lot of teams that have them anymore. Except for Victor. I think if he can get healthy, he's gonna be special. And Chet Holmgren, I think, is gonna be pretty good for the
Yeah.
Thunder as well. I like him a
I
lot.
think
He's a
people are
really good
sleeping
fit.
on him for sure.
Well,
Is it-
he missed time this year too. That's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
He missed I think he missed 40 something games. I don't think he only played 35 games. So he missed a lot of time, and he missed his whole rookie season. So he's missed a lot of time. But if he can stay healthy, he's skinny.
Mhm.
I wish he'd bulk up a little. He's a little.
Yeah.
I'm worried about his long term being that thin. He's like lighter than me, and he's 7 feet. But
Right.
if he can stay healthy, he's
No,
gonna be.
it's funny.
Look
I
at Victor though.
watched this one Jordan mixtape thing that someone had put together or whatever. He had this one dunk. Like, I know, obviously, his jumping was like out of this world and stuff like that. And so he had one dunk where he was like 3 or 4 inches above Manute Bol. It's like, that's a 13-inch height disparity, and he's 4 inches above him. Let that sink in.
I agree, man. I can talk NBA all day. I wonder if Med.
Okay, well,
fun.
Cleveland got their quarterback.
Wait, they didn't take Shador.
Dillon Gabriel from Oregon went before Shedder.
Are we in the third round still?
Uh-huh. This was 94.
I didn't even know they had another third round pick. Damn. Look at that.
I think they traded back into it and still didn't take Shedder.
All right. Peter, you got anything else before we boogie?
Those would be the big ones right now.
Curious what the Bears do. I'm curious what the Packers do with day 3. I'm gonna be kind of MIA for the rest of the weekend. I'm gonna go hang out with the wife.
Okay.
But I'll be back.
Do you want me to just like message you the specific picks for our teams tomorrow, or?
Yeah, if you know, you know what, I'll check it later in the day. It's all good. I'll look at it later in the day. Me and her are going to have a date. We're going to a festival tomorrow. So.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna stay off the phone for a lot of the day and hang out.
Well, keep me posted how she's doing then, because that surgery on Monday does not sound fun. So definitely praying for her in advance for that.
Hang out on the comments after. I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
It's not a leg thing, actually.
Gotcha.
I'll tell you about it after. Anyways, all right. So here's what's coming up. He's got some possible big news soon. We've kind of talked about it. We'll be rebooting Podcast Boys. I'm going to stick on Friday nights. If me and Jones can figure out this internet thing, I'll be doing Friday nights with Jones in the fall. I will be back in late July. So I know it's 3 months away, but it's going to go by faster than people think. I'll be back with the Dynasty live draft. That'll probably be my first show back. And then I'll be back in August with you guys. I'm hoping to have some more players on. I'd love to get some more college players on. I'd love to get some NFL players. I'm going to try to go get one of these Packer rookies and see if I can get them on the show. No joke. I'm going to try. Don't know if it's going to happen. Got some big guests I'm cooking up for the fall, talking to some big Packer guys, but also just want to keep meeting new people like this season. That's what made it fun for me. Honestly, man, it was pretty much a dream come true that we got to have some college players on. I hope that Jameer Augustine, I hope that Curtis Fan, I hope that Carl Smith Jr., I hope they get drafted. I know they haven't gotten drafted yet. I hope they get drafted day 3. Or make it just on a roster, undrafted, however it works out.
Yeah.
I hope they make it on an NFL roster. I hope we can get some more players on the show in the future. I got big plans for this. I want to keep going. But everybody that's watched the show, watched the shorts, looked at my fun posts, made this a thing. I appreciate it because, when we started this a little over a year and a half ago, I had like 2 people watching. Now there's over 200 right now. So thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun this season. Peter, I'm happy I get to hang out with you tonight. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
This is cool, man. Good luck on the rest of the draft for the Bears. I'll message you late tomorrow night or Sunday. I'll be free Sunday,
Okay.
but tomorrow I'm gonna hang out with the wife. It's a date day. I'm excited. So, but
Yeah.
I just want to say thanks to everybody for the season. Nick, your words last night meant a lot. Med, you rock, man. It's been awesome growing our show together. It's been great. Rev, I want to say thanks for watching. You rock, dude. I like the two receivers. I don't know why anybody won't take Sanders. Jones, I'm sorry about the internet thing, man. It sucks. Andy, I hate that you're a Bears fan, but I love you, bud. Jason,
So
you rock,
good
dude.
to see someone else.
Yeah, I love talking to Bears fans, but I'm really excited for next season. But this will be a nice little break. But I will see you guys again in late July and early August. Please go check out Fun Football Podcast on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I'm putting a lot of stuff on TikTok and Instagram now. Peter, you got any socials you want to promote?
For right now, honestly, just look up Freshfire on YouTube. I'm hopefully soon going to be putting out some of the faith-based poetry that I've written. So we'll see.
Cool, man. If you ever want me to shoot a like or anything on Facebook or Twitter, just let me know.
Yeah, we'll do.
Cool, man. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate it. I'm gonna rest now for a while, but I will see you guys again soon. I'm gonna give you the intro song, and I really, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate this season. It was a lot of fun. So thank you for everybody watching. You'll see me again soon.